Hi, I'm Eric Faria, life coach and host of Embracing Fear. Thank you for joining me. On this first episode, we traveled to Hawthorne, New York. In Hawthorne, I spoke with 18-year-old Rosalene. Rosalene was adopted at the age of 13 from a shelter in Brazil after being abandoned by her biological family. She contacted me because of the tempestuous relationship she's having with her adopted mother, Ivani. My goal in our interaction is to provide them with the tools to connect and build a trusting relationship. In this first segment, Rosalene talks about her life and background.
Originally from Brazil. I have been in a shelter for 8 years. Stay in the shelter, no one comes. So it was a little hopeless. It was very abusive, mentally and physically. I got adopted for a family from here. Nervous because different culture, different language. Now it's like a lot of positive people around me. My parents support me a lot. I like to go more nicer and more friendly way, especially with my mom. Sometimes we really don't get along. I don't know, I never really get over with what my biological mother did to me. If I had a chance, I would definitely like to know why she did what she did. I'd like to know why it happened.
So you talked a little bit about your past experiences, how your life has been so far, etc. Why am I here today? What do you need?
I just learned how to let it go, as I said.
What do you want to let go specifically?
Basically what happened back then.
What happened in your past? So if you were to let it go, how would it look like?
Things would be easier. I would definitely be more happier than now.
Okay. So what's missing that if you had it in your life right now would make a difference?
Hope?
Hope?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tell me a little bit more about hope. Rosalene had difficulty processing her feelings and felt intimidated by the cameras around her. I decided to take her for a walk so we could connect. Being out of the house allowed Rosalene to open up about her neglectful and abusive biological family. Our discussion about her past enabled her to realize that what she was experiencing was cyclical. Generations of abandonment, drug, and sexual abuse had existed. Rosalene's own biological mother was also abandoned as a child. So, from what we just discussed when we were walking, do you see that there's a pattern in your family?
Yeah.
Most likely of neglect, of people feeling rejected, abandoned, not cared for. Do you see it?
Yeah.
What difference does that make?
It made me understand more what she did and why she did. Because how you treat it when you're young, that's how you're going to treat other people when they are young. And that's basically what she was doing.
You told me that she was in prison, right? When you were growing up? Was she always in prison when you were growing up?
No, she was never caught. She was basically the leader of the gang.
She was never caught.
She never caught.
Was she ever in jail?
She was never in jail. My brother, they called the cop on her when he caught her beating the crap out of me.
Could you become aware and embrace the fact that your mother was basically a very sad person? And that physically abusing you and your siblings was her way of compensating for something that she never had?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see how people that are, upset and very angry can also be very sad and lonely and in pain? Yeah. What do you see for yourself in that? Do you see anything?
That was a couple of months ago. I was speaking with my mom, this mom now, And I told her, what if I become my biological mom?
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't become like her. I'd rather become this mom now.
So now you have the opportunity of digging deeper and doing something different so that you break this cycle. So that the cycle is actually not,
Related, right?
and it's not actually, you know, in your life and becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now that you are aware of some of the family patterns, do you see anything in your relationship with your adoptive mother?
When she come correct me, I kind of see when my biological moms come to hit me. So I always give like a shock back. If she gives me something, I give something back.
Like, really talk to me. What specifically happens between you and Ivani, your mom?
Everything gotta be her way, her time. That's what she wants, she's gonna do it. As if it was back then. So
Okay.
it's basically like repeating.
So she's very strict, she's very rigid, and how can you actually change your relationship with her? What can you do? What can you see now that you didn't see before, maybe? What will be different now?
Different, I would respect her more because most of the time when she talks with me, I'm instead looking at her, sitting and talking with her, I'm doing something else. Because even though we are together for almost 5 years, we don't know each other well.
So there's an opportunity for you to get to know her.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie right now, like yes, I have been not making time to not see her because you don't want to go back and forth. As last time we spent with each other, we just have time to say hi, how are you, how was the day, good morning, good night. Not even good morning because she leaves early to work. So now, actually it was a big help.
Tell me a little bit more. You were talking about what else you got from your biological mother, like an awareness that you had.
I'm gonna that my relationship with her was not so good. And now that I realize what she's been through, I never thought about, even though I have been carrying this for 5 years, and I've stopped to think about if she could have been through that before.
If she could have been abused and gone through everything that you also went through.
Yes.
And how is your relationship with your biological father? You were just telling me about that a little bit.
But my relationship with this father is like fine. It's like a father and a daughter thing. But the other one, he was never present. He was never there. But yes, he was there to hold us for her to beat her up. But he never stepped up to say anything. Even though he was the only one that was going to the shelter to visit us, which I found that a little strange.
So your mother would not go to the shelter?
She would go, but not as often as my father.
Okay. Do you think he felt guilty about what he did, and that's why he would visit you more often?
Yeah.
Do you think he felt ashamed by the fact that he was always drunk and could not do anything? Now that you have the awareness that your parents were basically just passing on to you what was passing on to them, what was passed on to them, where do you see yourself?
I see myself basically opposite of them,
Okay.
which I'm hoping to be, like loving care for my child, not treat them as the way they treat me. And my relationship with my mom, it's gonna get good actually.
What can you take in place? What can you put in place so that your relationship with her is better?
Being more patient with her, because basically I have been realized I have no patience with her. Whatever she say, just roll my eyes and do what I have to do, or stamp my feet and go. Even though I am a grown woman, like 18 years old, I should act like.
Good. We're gonna work on some practices together then, to put this in place and to actually shift all of this family dynamics that is going on right now. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. In this segment, we talk about the importance of verbalizing one's feelings through clear communication. I stand in for Rosalini's biological parents and ask her to role play. If I'm here and I'm your biological mother, what would you say to me?
I forgive you for what you did. It was the way that you were treated when you were young. So I shouldn't be really angry with you about it. So I do forgive you.
Anything else you have to say to me?
That I'm not as angry as I was before. I am a little, but not anymore.
Were you angry at me?
Yes, definitely. Still a little.
Is there anything you wish she had said or done?
Love and affection. That would be.
Love and affection. Yeah. What about your dad? Your biological father?
What I would say to him?
Yeah. What would you say to him?
I will definitely say the same thing that I told her. Because I don't think so he had love and affection. Because if he did, he would not be in the bar all day, not being there. So I would definitely say I forgive him for not being there when I mostly need him. And not being part of my life when I was young.
Do you get that the anger can be very creative and you can do something very positive with the anger that you have for both of them?
Yes.
Yeah. What can you create? How can you let that anger out and create something positive?
My cooking, baking stuff.
So how could you actually approach new friends, for example?
Be more nicer and open to them.
Okay, if I were to see you 6 months from now, how many friends would you like to have in school?
A small group, like 2, 3 friends.
That's it?
Yeah, if I want an honest and true friend, I'd rather have small than a big fake ones.
Okay. How about a nice group of 5 or 6?
That work.
Okay, does that inspire you at all?
Yeah.
You don't sound very inspired.
I don't like. I feel that in a small group, you can be more honest with each other and figure it out if I figure it out. But with a big group, I don't trust big groups. Like 2, 3 people, it's fine, but more than that.
Okay. So what is about the trust that is not there? What can you say about the lack of trust in others?
I don't know. Like,
Now that you know what you know about your family.
I wouldn't feel comfortable telling other people about my life experience, what I've been through.
What if the people in your school watch this program and this show
Well,
and they find out? Would you be okay with it?
I'll definitely be okay, but I'm definitely concerned a little bit, like how people would take it. Would they tease about it? Would they do anything about it? That's a big possibility, but there are the kids that are more mature, they know what I've been through. And
Do you think they may see you as more of a vulnerable person?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave you with some practices. We're nearing the end of the first day. And checking on you, how you're doing tomorrow, and how this whole experience was for you today when I come back.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On our first session together, Rosalini had an emotional but rewarding day. She was able to gain perspective on her current situation and recognize that she was a product of her environment. This awareness allowed her to differentiate between her hurtful past and her present situation with a new and supportive adopted family. I left Rosalini with an overnight assignment. I asked her to write a letter to her adopted mother, Ivani, sharing her feelings and the future she envisions for their relationship. So this is a letter to your adopted mother. Yes, Ivani.
Yes.
So how was it?
It was good. I will be able to be open with her, honest with her,
Mm-hmm.
and try to get her trust back, which I did trust her, but I didn't act with her as a mother and a daughter. I was always staying away from her. So now bring us more closer, which I'm really happy about it.
Do you get that the trust that you didn't have with your current mother was also because of the trust that you didn't have with your biological mother, and how that fed into the whole relationship that you now have with your
Yes.
mom?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you actually trust her?
Yes. I actually trust
How
her.
will you know that you're trusting your mother?
I'll be more open and make more time to spend with her. Because once I don't trust people, I don't stay around them. That's what I've been doing with this mom.
How about connection?
Yeah, the connection will definitely bring us together, which I had no connection with my biological mother. With this one, I have such a huge opportunity to have a connection with her,
Mm-hmm.
and that I just don't want to take and throw it away. I want to keep it and make it right between me and her.
Okay. So, are you ready to tell your mom, Ivani, what you actually wrote in the letter and let her know how you feel?
Yes. Yeah.
How will that be for you?
It will be a big step for her and for me, because I really don't open up for her as much as I want to open up for her now.
And when you're comfortable, you're not growing.
Yeah.
So, are you willing to be uncomfortable? Okay. All right. Well, I will be there to support you and see how it all goes.
Okay.
Okay? Now I speak with Ivani, Rosalini's adopted mother, and we have a very insightful and heartfelt conversation about the challenges of raising a teenager that comes from an abusive background. So I was talking with Rosalini yesterday, and we were talking about her relationship with you, her relationship with her biological mother, and family patterns, and she realized something very powerful about her family in Brazil, her biological family. And she saw a history of abuse, of neglect, of not being there, not being present, and physical abuse and mental abuse. So my question is, what actually called you to Brazil when you went to Brazil to adopt Rosilene?
Totally a coincidence.
Mm.
We were there for a vacation, decided to visit a shelter just because we had the free time and we were passing by.
Mm-hmm.
We got to the shelter and we asked if they had any kid to be adopted.
Mm.
They said they had a boy and showed my son, Leandro,
Mm-hmm.
her biological brother.
Brother.
And they said there was a sister, but she was already in the process of being adopted by another person.
Mm.
We were heartbroken because we wanted to keep both kids together.
Together. Uh-huh.
We came home, started the process with with Leandro,
Mm-hmm.
and a month later we found out that Roselene's adoption didn't go through.
Mm.
The woman asked, would you like, the adoption of Roselene didn't go through, would you like to, and then she was not able to finish the question because we said yes.
And what is your relationship with Rosalini like today?
It's very chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of discussion, a lot of bumps in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Me in the process of learning how to be a mother, and her with her baggage, we had spoke so many times before.
Mm-hmm.
But even though it's a bumpy road,
Mm-hmm.
it's chaotic, we still manage it.
If you had a vision, what would your relationship be like with her?
I really would like to be able to have her say that she has a mother. Because the way I see is, I embrace this. I really embraced it. But going forward, that I want her to feel that I am her mother instead of just saying.
And she also spoke about not connecting with people, not being able to trust people because of her family history and all the years that she spent in the shelter. Where do you see the connection between your childhood and her childhood, or is there a connection?
I was sexually abused, and that's, I knew she was sexually abused because before she even opened up her mouth, when she was still in Brazil and we were here, because I was sexually abused. I was mentally and physically abused also.
By your own mother?
Yes, yes. And with me was throughout my life till adulthood, the age of 23, was when I was able to break free. I was disconnected. For a long time I had problem with the relationship, especially with men, because of the impact that my childhood had on me.
Okay,
So
I
there
understand.
are a lot of similarities.
Do you think that also prevents you from creating a connection and a trust with Joseleni today?
Today I don't see like that, only because I have been in a healing path for so long
Yes.
that it is a challenge. Yes, it is a challenge, but I am able to connect.
What do you think is missing today in your relationship with Joseleni?
Communication, love, understanding,
Okay. Big.
huge.
How do you want this to go? Your relationship with
I
Joseleni?
really would like to improve a lot on communication. There's a huge issue with trust, definitely, as well. Improve the communication, because I think through communication, trust, everything else can build up from there. Those two things I see as a foundation.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do some work together.
Okay.
You, me, and Joseleni,
Okay.
and see what we can do, how we can build a new relationship from here forward.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
What we just discovered is that Ivani shares a similar background to Rosalini, which will further help pave the road toward mutual understanding. I bring mother and daughter together to let them have an honest conversation and be with each other. So, Joselini, now we're here with your mom, Ivani, and I know that one of the assignments that I left for you last night was to write a letter to your mom. Would you like to read the letter, or would you like to talk to her about what you wrote in the letter?
I can talk to her about it.
Okay, so could you please talk to her about what you wrote in the
Okay.
letter to your mom?
I just wrote that I was very sorry for blaming you to what my biological mother did to me. And I do realize that it was not her fault. That was how she grew up when she was young. And basically it's a generation. What happened to her mother happened to her, and she did it to me. So I really don't think it's fair for me to throw that fault on you, even though you never did. You always cared, loving, and educated me on always, have been always there for me. And I do want our relationship go forward, positive, always make time for each other, which it's obvious that I have not been doing that for you. And I'm sorry about that. And I will try to make time for letting Eric work with me. That was a huge step between yesterday and today. I learned through a lot of stuff that I never was able to talk with nobody. And I learned through nobody if I haven't talked with him.
What would your little girl want to say to your mom's little girl? Because I see two little girls here that never, that went through a lot, right? You both went through hell and back. So what would your little girl want to say to your mom's little girl?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I have moved you when we're young. That's basically the same thing that happened to me. So we're basically the same. So, yeah.
What does she need? What does the little girl need from your mom?
Love, caring, respect,
Connection.
connection, sure.
Right.
Especially.
And what would your little girl say to Rosaleni?
I will be strong and help both of us to grow in love, respect, communication, and we both are learning from each other, and we both can support each other.
Well, I think my work here is done. Thank you. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what happens in the next chapter of your relationship together.
Thank you for the opportunity.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
And yeah, let's grow these little girls up together and take care of them. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
What we have witnessed here is a case of two motherless daughters with similar experiences growing up. Rosalini can now allow her vulnerability to open up a new dialogue with Ivani. Rosalini just started the process of embracing fear and stepping into a new and courageous chapter of her life.